then early on, we felt like the South Side was a good space for us to explore. And we were trying to reach like younger people that weren't fitting into our very traditional older churches. I started going to seminary, and we just, while we were there, thought, hey, what about like starting a church that kind of utilized theater, that had like a creative expression of the gospel. September 2004, we had gotten the Presbyterian Church and the United Methodist Church to support us. It was important for us to like bring people together, bring denominations together, try to do something together, and that had a lot of appeal, like to young people that we were reaching out to. They were like tired of seeing the church be divided. There was a lot of like sense of like, wow, we're out on the streets, we're like in people's lives, and so that had a sense of like the sacred and the holy. And so we were getting all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. But when we finally kind of landed in this space and were rooted a little bit and started establishing ourselves, then people started questioning what each other believed and started noticing like differences that earlier didn't seem to matter, but now were starting to matter. Everybody's welcome. That's always been a heartbeat of who we wanted to be. Like, everybody is welcome. But of course, one of the things that became a big issue was inclusion of LGBTQ folks in our ministry. We were beginning to form what in the Presbyterian Church is called our deacons. Our deacons are those who like care for the community. They're like, Jack needs to be on this team. He and his partner Larry had been running our table ministry, but I was still also wrestling through with, but what does that mean? Like what does it mean that Jack's gay and wants to serve in this community? Jack was so compassionate. He was a deacon. He was doing the things that Jesus says we should do. He just happened to have a partner who was also male. So as I was saying yes to Jack, others were like, well, wait a minute. And we don't think the Bible allows for gay people to be in leadership in the church. To be here, yes. To be present, yes. But not to serve. And so that's when conflict really, started in our community. What does it mean to be gay and to be in the church? And what does that mean specifically for our church, who has said from the beginning, all are welcome here. For me, what was most influential in my life were some of the relationships that I had. And John was a gay man who had been raised in the church. He was the most evangelical, conservative gay person I ever knew. And for his whole life, he had wrestled with his sexual identity, not in terms of like, am I gay or not, but like, how does that work with the church? Yeah, and then at churches he would get involved in, and they'd say, you know what, you can be here, but you can serve coffee, and that's it. So he left entirely, and then he just kind of went the other way for a while and was just like, screw it. He comes out of that and gets into 12-step and kind of gets himself together, and then he lands in our community. And I remember clearly like conversations where John would just be like, I know that God's call for me is just a monogamous relationship. Like I want to be in relationship with another person. And I would be like, well, John, I feel God's call for you is celibacy. But as we continued on the journey together, that theology for me just stopped. It wasn't working anymore. I wasn't understanding why would God say that this person's gifted in so many ways, beautiful human being, would not be able to choose to love who they want to love. So it was breaking down for me. And then in our community, we had to find a way it wasn't like, will God be upset with me? It was more actually like some of the dear mentors in my life that, would not be affirming of gay marriage. And I knew that some way I would be letting them down, or that they would view me differently. I was affirming, and I felt like theologically I understood why I was affirming, I didn't have to live out of this space where I'm trying to please everybody. I was living out of a space that was rooted in what I believe the Spirit of God was doing in me, doing in our community. And so, when I was asked to do my first gay marriage, I was able to joyfully say yes. And that's what it comes down to for me, is this idea of what does it mean to love God and to love others. That Jesus was trying to create space for us to do the loving. Jesus wasn't adding on to the rules. He was like, we're fulfilling the law. And the fulfillment of the law is love.